You're listening to Stellar Success, Leveling Up for Medical Pros with Dr. Tudor Francu. Join us as we explore how medical professionals can achieve stellar success in all areas of life. It's time to level up.
Hi, Dr. Gapin. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming over.
Oh, you bet.
I'm very happy you got to join the show. You're someone who offers a lot of perspective from the success part of the medical professionals. And I want to kind of dive in a little bit more into your mindset and your habits and routines that brought you to this place.
You got it.
Just to start over, I want to kind of give a little perspective to the audience about you as a person. Just kind of summarizing a little bit, how did you start this and where are you now?
Yeah, thanks so much. So I am what I like to jokingly say, I'm a recovering urologist. So I spent 27 years in traditional medicine, and I made a successful exit, and now I can truly say I love what I do, which I couldn't say for many years. Backing up before that, I knew at a very young age, I was in fourth grade when I knew I wanted to be a doctor. So my whole childhood was based around becoming a doctor. What's the next step? It's college, it's medical school, it's the MCAT, it's getting into medical school and then working on residency applications, et cetera. And so I went through that entire childhood knowing I wanted to be a doctor. And like many other doctors, I got about halfway into that career and I thought, what the hell am I doing? I hate this. I'm miserable. And I wake up one day and I'm 30 pounds overweight. I feel like crap. I'm stressed out. I'm not sleeping. I'm not taking care of myself. And I'm miserable. And I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't like who I was. And I knew something had to change, but I didn't know what. It's like, I call it, actually, I wrote, my next book is talking all about this detail that is like the golden handcuffs. It's like you're stuck. You're trapped in this world that you can't exit because you become accustomed to the lifestyle that depends on it. And so how could you possibly leave? And so I felt very trapped. And I'm 40 years old. This was 13 years ago when this happened, when I went for my first physical ever. I'm 40 years old. And this concierge doc in my town, I live in Sarasota, Florida, he just told me I probably need to be on a statin, I just need to lose weight and diet and exercise, and that was it. Like, he had nothing for me other than that. And from a health scare standpoint, I was like, holy cow, I got to do something about this. And I started researching and studying. And, I can look back and humbly recognize now that I was the men's health expert. Like, I'm doing robotic surgery, saving lives every day, treating prostate cancer, and I'm like the men's health expert. And I had no answers for myself of how do I get healthy and how do I turn around? What am I supposed to do other than just air quotes diet and exercise, And so I found this entire world of precision performance medicine, of longevity, epigenetics, hormones, peptides, longevity science, and this whole new world that I never knew about. I was never taught in my surgical training in my urology career. And I fell in love with it again. Doc, I fell in love with a different way of practicing medicine. And I realized that I'm actually an entrepreneur who's been stuck inside a doctor's body my whole life. I was selling candy out of a locker in medical school and come full circle. Like that was my passion, was to build a business around it. And now I finally found my passion for medicine again as well. So I didn't have to, I was thinking of like leaving and doing financial stuff and realtor and, other kind of weird jobs that doesn't fit for a doctor or a surgeon with that many years of experience. But now I found an actual business that I could build around that I had real passion for. So I turned my health around, started offering a cash-based service to my urology patients, and started building a business within my existing practice. Yeah. And then 2020, I jumped ship. I finally made the decision. I jumped off the figurative cliff and I left traditional medicine. And I launched the Gapin Institute for Precision Medicine. Fast forward 5 years later, we have come close to $5 million in revenue this year. I'm now training other doctors how to do what I've done. And I can tell you, I freaking love what I do every day. And I couldn't
that's
say that
awesome.
before. Yeah.
And don't forget you started this when the pandemic started, right?
During COVID. Yeah, exactly. It was a scary moment, but it's one of those things when you follow your heart, follow your passion, and you know what you know, and you can't unsee something. I knew I had to leave. It's like I didn't have a choice. I didn't know how. And I want to be clear, I wasn't cavalier. I didn't just flippantly one day say I'm leaving. I spent years preparing, planning, procrastinating that decision a little bit as well. But I finally made the decision, and my only regret was that I waited so long in doing so.
Yeah. It's a very interesting subject because a lot of professionals in our field are feeling this way, right? And they're 40, 50, 60-year-olds, men that are struggling at this point with their hormonal balance, with their burnout at work. And, they go to primary care annual physicals. And like you said, it's that recipe that's given for years. You have to eat better, you have to exercise more, and put you on a statin, don't eat sugar, and see you in a year for a follow-up.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
changes. So from your point of view, when was that balance disrupted in your health, when you started to do what you wanted to do?
It was a slow, gradual decline. I think, like most doctors, it wasn't all of a sudden one day. I like to, I joke that I wake up and I'm suddenly 30 pounds overweight. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens
Yeah.
from years of, I like many other doctors, I had a lot of trauma in my childhood. Okay, and rough childhood, abusive environment, and coming through the work I did for that, what I learned is that being a doctor is trauma in and of itself. So think about this: we are taught that it's never enough. We're taught to grind and keep pushing, and I'll sleep when I'm dead, and sacrifice yourself, neglect yourself for the sake of your patients and your career. And there's no time, there's no allowance to be selfish and think about yourself ever. And it's that feeling of being beaten down for decades that finally caught up with me. And I see now so clearly how every doctor out there is suffering that same trauma every day, where we are taught that we're not enough.
Yeah.
And now I know in no uncertain terms, I am enough. And
Yes.
that's a big problem with traditional medicine.
Yeah, it's a thing that we're not, it's not in the curriculum in medical schools, and it's catching up a lot over the past few years, especially after COVID, I would say, where people start to think about alternative therapies, integrative medicine, kind of putting things together from the hormonal point of view, from the diet point of view. So how did you build this practice aside from or within your traditional medical practice, little by little? Was it based more on your personal experience with those treatments, or did you have a mentor? Did you study something?
Yeah, so I went through about a decade there of additional training. In what? In some clinical work, yes. I had to learn how to prescribe peptides. I had to learn how to do hormones the right way. They don't ever teach you that in even, urology training. We didn't get one day of training on how to actually prescribe testosterone the right way. So I went through hormone training. I went through functional medicine training. I went through epigenetics certification of how to actually read someone's genetics and create a personalized lifestyle plan accordingly. I learned how to read wearable technology data.
Yeah.
And a lot of science around, this new space of longevity. And there's no real certifications yet. There's some kind of popping up. But I had to put a lot of different modalities together to really come up with my approach. And we call it precision performance medicine, the best terminology we can use for it. It's not longevity. People don't want longevity. They want to be better now. I want to feel better. I want to live better. I want to lead better now. I don't want to focus on when I'm 120. So all the clinical stuff was actually a small part of what I had to learn. I had to learn how to run a business, how to build a team. And so I spent about $1 million in personal development and going through business masterminds and courses. And I had many mentors along the way, and I was coachable, and I was willing to learn the business side of it and creating, SOP, standard operating procedures for every part of the business. And how do you hire someone? And how do you do a sales conversation the right way? And how do you onboard an employee? And all the nuance of running a business that they don't teach any of that stuff in medical training. So I had to learn all that separately, but for me, it was a passion, it was a joy, and I was able to piece it all together one brick at a time, building this amazing team and culture. I can't emphasize enough how important it is, core values and culture in your business. And when you do that, you will attract great employees who love the business just like you do, and they never want to leave because they're part of your family in a sense.
Yeah. Part of this whole journey, to a successful journey like you have in this field, is the fact that you basically experiment with these things up to a point that you get some success. But I'm sure along the way you had some things that didn't go right.
Oh my God.
Or they kind of was a step back and you kind of fumbled around. Can you give us an example of something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a great phrase that I love: you're either winning or you're learning.
Yep.
There's nothing else. You're winning or you're learning. And so every time we had a setback, which there were many, those are learning opportunities. For example, what's your offer? The most common question I hear when I help other doctors with this process is, what's my offer? What am I selling? And there's a lot of nuance, and there's a lot of iteration and refinement and testing. You have to find, for your particular niche, whatever that may be, and for your demographic, your geography may affect the clients that you're going to attract and what you can charge and what's in the offer. And so I tell you, we had a lot of different iterations of what we sell, what our offer is, what's included in the packages, how do we deliver it, the time frame, all that stuff. We made so many mistakes along the way, but they were great because they helped us learn and refine our offer. And that's a big part of it. You're never going to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
And so you just got to keep going and keep iterating and keep testing and know that every day you're learning just a little bit more. And one of the things I've done at least a dozen, if not more times, is defining my avatar. Okay, your avatar is simply your ideal client. And I'm talking about getting very granular about how do they think. Not just what their pain points are, not just it's a male 40 to 60 years old who wants to build muscle or wants to lose weight. No. Granular, like what are they actually thinking? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What's the true why behind the why? What are their true aspirations? Like when you get really deep and understand your client, that's when you can start to really build a business because you're solving a problem. You're not just creating an offer or selling gadgets or tech tools or hormones or peptides. You're solving a real problem. And that's what's helped us be incredibly successful is the messaging part of it that has always been a big priority for us.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a trend, right? For the past few years into this field.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of my colleagues very interested in different aspects of what you're doing right now, hormones and peptides and infusions and all this type of things. But is there anything in particular you would advise your specific demographic of patients to do, the first three things that can do in their own lives to improve something?
Yeah, in terms of their health, we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So look at the client side, not the doctor side. Perfect.
Right.
So most like my avatar is the 55-year-old business owner. He is stressed out. He has the belly. He's overweight. He's working out in the gym, not seeing any results. He's not sleeping very well. Sex isn't like it was before. He gets home, he's exhausted. His kids want him, but he has nothing left in the tank. He is inflamed. He has issues with low hormones. You see, I can go on and on. But that guy, what I would tell him is get tested. And I'll tell you why. Because my avatar, again, this is knowing your avatar. My avatar, I know what he's thinking. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine. I read about these.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's a natural part of aging. Like I know what he's thinking. I'm fine. I don't need anything. I don't need that stuff. I'll just take some peptides I found online that my buddy recommended. I read about it on Reddit. And so what I say is let's just get tested. Let's just look at 5 categories. I'll talk about cardiovascular health. I'll talk about hormones, blood sugar, inflammation, micronutrients. Okay, basic blood work. Look at your gut microbiome testing and cortisol, salivary cortisol, or stress hormone. Let's just do that test. I call it Launch Diagnostics. It's a testing bundle that we offer, believe it or not, for this exact reason. Because my avatar doesn't listen. They think they know it all, and they think they're fine. So, okay, let's just get tested. Let's just see where you are. Find your blind spots that may be holding you back. Maybe. You know where this is going. We do the testing, and they're a mess. We find issues everywhere. And every test we run, but what that does is it now allows him to recognize in black and white there's a real problem here now, and he's now more receptive to the next step in that conversation, in that journey. And so that's why, to answer your question, what I say, just get tested, see where you are. Just check your testosterone, but not your testosterone, your free testosterone, and then I go into the nuance of why. But you see what I've done there is I've been very specific about what I recommend, but there's a real why behind it, and it's knowing my avatar, and it's knowing what's the next step. Something I learned along the way that was so powerful is every answer should create a new question. Every answer creates a new question. So I'm going to give you the answer is, do I have any blind spots? I'm going to show you the answer now. Oh, crap, what do I do with it now? Well, let me show you the next step. And that ties in. That's where you got to think about answering questions that will lead the client where you want them to go.
Yeah, that's very important. I think you hit the nail on the head with this thing. You can't fix something it's not measured. So, you need to measure it first and then act upon it. Now, from your mindset point of view a little bit, I want to give you a question regarding I would say the motivation of why you're doing what you're doing from the business point of view. Yeah. Because obviously, this is something that it's not done by the insurance company, it's not reimbursed, it's a concierge cash payment, right? Mm-hmm. How do you find this type of model working for this specific issue medically?
Incredibly well. I have a whole chapter 2 in my book is limiting beliefs, because doctors have so many limiting beliefs that hold us back and tell us I can't do it. And one of the big ones is no way anyone will pay cash for this. No, they could just use their insurance. I had those same thoughts for many years. That's what made me delay and procrastinate making my move. In fact, they will. they will pay a lot of money for it. I have a guy who we just booked my flight. I have to fly out to Sacramento early January. He's a VIP client. He pays me $45,000 every 6 months to work with him, and another $10K for the travel package, which means I go and fly out and see him, just to do the same stuff I do with the rest of my clients. But he gets my one-on-one care, whereas all my other clients see my team.
Yeah.
So see, I have 2 clients in my practice. They're VIP clients, and so the key is they will pay cash if you can solve a problem, if you can offer a transformation, if you can hold good on your promise.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, do you think this is going to catch up into the mainstream medicine at some point?
I tell you, I think it already is. I mean, look at Function Health. Look at that. Was it $290 million they just raised in the next round, last round? And I can't tell you how many people who've come to us. They've had the $500 a year Function Health lab test done, which show a bunch of problems, and the AI algorithm tells you what to do, and it's fairly worthless. And they have no idea what to do with it, but they want to take it to the next level. And so it's been great for our business. And there's been a dramatic increase in awareness of this stuff and a willingness for people to invest in their health. And they recognize, look, you have like a $3,000 copay, and your deductible is sky high, and people are realizing that it's a broken system, and it's less expensive to just invest in it themselves. Use your HSA, FSA money toward taking care of yourself. And so, yes, it's evolving very rapidly. There's widespread adoption. I'm not the only cash-based, precision medicine longevity practice that's out there that's doing very well. So yes, it can be done. It's the mindset that a lot of doctors have that no way people will pay cash for that, or what will my colleagues or family or friends think of me if I turn to all cash. I'm able to see clients for an hour at a time or more if I have to, and they love it. They get such incredible, undivided, white glove concierge level care that they could never get. Back in urology, I would have 10-minute. I would see 60 patients in a day, 10-minute slots. What the hell can you do in 10 and take away 2 minutes for the nurse in the front, check out in the back? I have like 6 minutes. Like, what can I do? So
that's ridiculous.
Higher level of care, and people are willing to invest in it. Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting, this whole widespread Function Health system that they have, and I don't know if my audience knows about it, but it's a widespread thing that you can sign up and get twice a year. You can get your lab work twice a year. But the interesting part, like you said, is that the results are interpreted by an AI algorithm who gives you some kind of weird explanations and solutions to this. But it offers you as a practice a starting point to guide the patients based on the results, correct?
That's right, exactly. I do not look at Function Health as a competitor. I want to be really clear. They support my business, not compete, because they cannot provide the high level of care that we provide.
Yeah.
And we have very clear brand differentiation that it's not a threat to any of the doctors out there who are thinking about, oh my gosh, how am I going to compete with Function Health? You can't, and you don't want to. That's a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
You see LabCorp and Quest are now starting to offer direct lab testing. It's a battle. It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
What's your goal? What do you want to do next?
Yeah, my goal is we're opening our second location. Our Peak Launch Center in Scottsdale will be open by June of this year. So that'll be a great partnership we have that we built out there. And
Arizona.
It's Scottsdale, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. And my next phase is I'm now really passionate about training other doctors how to do what I've done. And so I built a video training program. I have a mentorship with me as well. I have a book that I've finished writing. It's now in the hands of the publisher. Now it'll be published probably the end of 2026. Really helping doctors make that transition, that leap. That's my passion. That's my legacy, is helping other people do what I've done, because it's not just the money. The money is actually better than I was ever making in urology. It's the freedom of life. It's the quality of life. And I love what I do. I love my team. I love what we're building. And I have such passion for it that was dead in urology. It was just a job. Yeah.
Yeah, there are many people out there in your position, and I'm sure it's going to resonate with you, with them, what you're doing. But from the mentor point of view, let's say, how would you advise a doctor or any medical professional that wants to get into this field?
Yep.
What would be the steps to follow?
Yeah.
To get to a point that they can do this?
Yeah. So briefly, my process is first is all mindset. So the first step is you have to have the right mindset. You need to have, positive forward thinking. You got to overcome the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You have to be willing to entertain the possibility that you can actually do it, because most doctors think they can't. So the first step is the mindset piece, which I'll put that aside. That's a whole conversation of itself. The next part is I call it a bridge model. And what I mean by a bridge model is I don't suggest, I don't recommend, I did not do it, leave your practice and hang a shingle and open your doors and start selling cash-based services. I do not recommend. It's not financially wise. You're going to run out of money, and your wife's or husband's going to be pissed at you. Do not do that. The bridge model is within your existing practice. Within my urology practice, I was offering cash-based services on the side, legally. You can legally offer certain things that are non-covered services so you don't get in trouble. I was collecting Medicare in room 3 and cash in room 4, and that was okay. It was legal. So that can be done. And you can gradually build that and refine it and iterate it and test and create an offer that will convert and start generating some revenue, so that when you are ready to jump off that figurative cliff, that parachute's going to open. There's not a question. That parachute will open because you've been planning and preparing for it. And then you can start to really take it to the next level when you open a center, and now you can expand your services because you have a building, a space just for this type of business. But I would suggest the bridge model first, where you're bridging from where you are now to where you want to be. And it's a gradual transition where I was at one point, half a day on Friday, I was doing this work. And then it was 2 half days a week. And then it was 3 full days a week. And then I was like, it's time to go. I'm ready to go. So that's a gradual process that does not happen overnight, though. Yeah.
From the educational point of view, I know there is a lot of literature right now in the medical field about these things. And anybody can go, online and find out things to learn and educate themselves. But what would you advise someone to go, like the first thing, the best thing to educate themselves about those things?
On this space or the business? Yeah. So I think it's important to surround yourself with people who are in your space and who are beyond you. I love being pushed. I think you have to be willing to extend yourself and think outside the box and be uncomfortable and take imperfect action. This is a huge, valuable lesson I learned very early. Just freaking go, take imperfect action. Don't wait for it to be perfect, or else you'll never move. When you're surrounded by people who are more successful than you are in a space you want to be in, you'll learn from them, you'll absorb from them, you'll pick up tips, and they'll help guide you along the way. And so I had a lot of mentors along the way. I was around a lot of people who were making tons of money when I was making none in the beginning, but you learn from them. And so, for example, organizations like A4M, American Academy of Anti-Aging, they have a World Congress in Vegas in December of 2025 here that is a great event that anyone who's interested in this particular space, if you're interested in precision performance medicine, longevity medicine, whatever, that might be a good environment for you to be in, for example. Other similar types of events. AMMG, American Medical Management Group, has several events throughout the year as well. Those are the types of people to be around, where you'll start to find what really resonates with you, and you can start to take it to the next level. It's amazing.
Do you treat only men, or do you take any kinds of patients in this situation?
Great question. So when I first, and one of the things I teach, by the way, is you want to be very, very narrow with your niche. When you first start, what I'm going to tell you, it goes contrary to this, so I just want to put an asterisk here, that when you first start, your niche needs to be so incredibly narrow that you can talk to that avatar, that one person, so clearly, the messaging is so spot on that you're going to connect with them.
Yeah.
And mine was men's health. Mine was specifically men 50 to 60, and it was a very specific, narrow window of people. And it grew from there. What happened was, when I opened my physical brick and mortar center, a nurse practitioner who had a massive women's health business wanted to join me. And I thought, sure, why not? She was a lovely human being, a great nurse practitioner. So I was like, yes. And so we very quickly, overnight, went from Gapin Institute for Men's Health to Gapin Institute for High Performance Health. Just overnight, just like that. And this is iterating, testing, refining. And what we found was we were missing half the audience when I was just doing men. All the wives would be like, well, what about me? You're just men. Well, I can't come there. Suddenly they realized, oh, wait, you do serve women as well. And then I realized high performance health doesn't necessarily do justice to the fact that we're practicing medicine. Like, this is actual, like, prescription care, medical care, using a medical license. And so we realize it's precision medicine, and it's physically precision performance medicine, but for short, it's now Gapin Institute for Precision Medicine. We serve men and women, but very specifically, we have different messaging and targeting for both, and have a different team for both as well, because they're very different in how we manage them and communicate with them.
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. There are many issues with both genders at this type of age. With with the wisdom you acquired so far and the experience and the transition from the traditional medical world to this field, you have a lot of experiences. If you would look back to yourself when you started this whole thing, what kind of advice would you give to yourself?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and know that you can do it. There's a lot of being an entrepreneur is a lonely world. There are a lot of lonely days where you are grinding on your own, and you question yourself, you question your path. And I think the most powerful thing you can do is believe in your mission and believe in why you're doing it, and you just can't ever freaking quit. You just can't quit. Once you go, you got to go, and you have to believe in yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt, and just know I've been there, and you will get through because there's no other choice. You will find a way, because this is something that I missed. I didn't catch this in the beginning. I was a doctor. Look what I had to do to become a freaking doctor. I'm a surgeon. I'm a robotics expert, and I was the first doctor to do robotic surgery in Sarasota, Florida. I was the first doctor to do high-intensity focused ultrasound for prostate cancer. I was the first one to do targeted fusion prostate biopsy. I had all these accolades, all these great things I did. And here I'm still freaking questioning myself. Can I run this business? Can I build this? I'm like, in hindsight, well, of course I can. But we question ourselves, and it's all those 5.5 inches between our ears that get in the way. And so any doctor out there listening, dude, you can do it because look how far you've come now. Look what you've accomplished right now. And don't let all those limiting beliefs get in your way.
That's awesome. That's an awesome thing to end this. How can people get in touch with you and learn more about what you're doing and maybe become your clients? Thanks
so much. Yeah, so our website, you can check out our practice is gapininstitute.com. And you can check out the site if you want to look at like some of the downloads we give out. We talk about lead magnets, how do you attract clients. You go to gapininstitute.com/launch, and you can download some free stuff and see what the funnel looks like, the marketing funnel. But if you want to reach out to me personally on the business side of doctors, you can reach me at Doc Tracy. So that's how people refer to me, as Dr. D-O-C Tracy, Tracy, at peaklaunch.com. And we are really evolving, by the way. Gapin Institute was how we started, but we're now expanding to a national license, and Peak Launch is that brand. And so we went through a very painful iteration process of rebranding as well. So there's a lot of challenge we went through there, but we're now Peak Launch, and so that's all coming very soon. Peak Launch Institute is training other doctors. So Doc Tracy at peaklaunch.com. That's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Gapin. I hope many people will reach out to you. This is an exciting field, and I think it's the future of medicine 2.0, like Dr. Attia would say. It's something that will probably change a lot of lives along the way. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Are you a busy medical professional striving to excel in life and work? Stellar Success Podcast brings you the habits and insights of top leaders in medicine and beyond. Discover strategies for balance, growth, and fulfillment in every episode. Follow us on Instagram at Stellar Success Podcast for daily inspiration. Start your journey to success today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel now.
That's a wrap on Stellar Success, Leveling Up for Medical Pros with Dr. Tudor Francu. Interested in joining us? Go to stellarsuccesspodcast.com/guest to apply. Stay stellar and level up.